Travis, his brother, who was a 1,000-point scorer for Michigan State, that family was here in Indianapolis in 2015 when the Spartans were in the Final Four, and they certainly celebrated. It continues on today.
Rice nails the triple.
And they got to slow down the guards here of Wisconsin, just continuing with a beautiful pass. Baycott returning to face. Let's see if North Carolina can chip away here.
Finally, it goes down for Brooks.
Johnny Davis almost got that steal, or that offensive rebound, rather.
Walton gives it up. Brooks creating space, and he banks it home.
I love that. Unhappy with himself. In the Carolina playbook is you're supposed to beat the other team down the floor, not get beat by them. And Roy Williams didn't like that.
And North Carolina has been sped up by this Florida State defense. There's the switch. They're basically switching every screen or exchange. And it's really difficult for North Carolina to run offense. You're going to have to make plays, not run plays.
Garrison Brooks had to work really hard. 2 COVID pauses cost them several games. Justin Mutz with a long 3 that he leaves a little bit short.
And even though this is a smaller Virginia Tech team, they can still attack the paint, and I think they need to.
Carolina perks to the rim.
And took the contact, finished the play with the left hand. What a big-time play by Tyrese Radford.
This has been a good one from the outset, and there's a lot on the line. The winner goes into the semis tomorrow against Florida State. Brooks off the glass, 2-point lead.
Circle in order to draw it for the first play.
So Miller again, a guy who plays sparingly. Same with KJ Smith, but they are seniors. Tradition is tradition. They are in the starting lineup. And Miller's already taken a charge. And there have been times where both of these guys have played. KJ Smith actually started a few games last year for Carolina because of injuries.
Yeah, when Cole Anthony was out, he actually started at Gonzaga and played a lot of minutes during that period.
And there's the senior Garrison. For a proud 4-year player, terrific senior, and good to see him getting a chance to get back in there on this kind of a day.
A little bit ginger in his first movements on it, but not surprised he's fighting through it.
And knocks down a jumper. That didn't.
Ever going to find. I mean, he knows everybody's position out on the floor.
What a start for Carolina. In spite of missing Brooks for a few minutes with an injury, they are up 21-6. They are 9 of 13 from the floor. Caleb Love's knocked down a couple of threes, and Duke can't get anything going to the offensive end.
Carolina needs to look for Garrison Brooks. He's being guarded by Matthew Hurt. Let him touch the ball.
Step back jumper, and he knocks it down with a shot.
That shot. And he is playing with a ton of confidence in this game.
A guy who was not really a point guard in high school, he was a scorer. He's had to take on, and knew he was taking on, point guard responsibilities when he committed to North Carolina. The kick to Brooks, 19-footer, banks it in. You know, with Brooks, presumably Brooks doesn't come back. Remember, this is a free year, and any senior can come back, but let's assume that Garrison Brooks doesn't come back. We don't know about Sharp. You assume Baycott will, and then you got Kessler. Like, Kessler's going to get a lot more minutes, and he's going to become a big factor.
He's going to be a great player, but top 25 players. You know, some are supernovas like those guys. You know, these guys are not that, but that is not, you don't mean that as a slight to say, hey, you know, it's going to take these guys a little bit longer to be great.
Meanwhile, this
he's working with Jamie Luckey and Clarence Armstrong. Guerrier didn't even go up for it, and that's the story to follow here tonight. He's playing with a very sore left knee, playing knees in their loss at Georgia Tech on Saturday. Jim Boeheim wasn't sure if he'd be able to give it a go tonight, but he's going to try. Caleb Love is the point guard. Kerwin Walton, a three-point shooter. And it's Garrison Brooks from the in Syracuse, New York. Harris out of the corner. Another offensive rebound.
And now 3 opportunities for North Carolina on this possession. And when you get this many chances, you're going to score the basketball. I mean,
Boeheim with 8. And that leaves him 8 away from 1,000 for his career. 4 minutes to go. Still kind of hard to believe this is only a 4-point game with the rebounding disparity and some sloppy turnovers. He's their leading rebounder. That would be job 1 for him tonight. Griffin another miss, and now Carolina with a chance to take the lead. They led by as many as 9 in the first half. Garrison Brooks gets a friendly bounce for the win column, but more often than not, too, it seems it winds up as a seat swarmer.
Regardless, it got interesting.
Yeah, and Brooks scores at the bucket.
Tough shot, and he can't get the roll. It's tipped back up and in. It's
paint so far so good for Marquette.
The three on the way is no good. Sharp, another rebound for the Tar Heels. North Carolina has missed its first 5 threes. This is not a good three-point shooting Tar Heel team. This is what they do best. Threes is not just better shooting, but taking better care of the basketball. That is not the case so far tonight. They've turned it over the last 4 times. Garrison Brooks does not turn it. State on the road on Sunday. That's Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, part of the Sonic Blockbuster. It only wins in the last month against Butler. North Carolina's been playing well. There's Garrison starting the game tonight, and Kerwin Walton looked as if he might be lining up a 3. He hasn't made a field goal tonight. Was the one who drew that foul. Tar Heels not a good three-point shooting team. That's why it's so important for Walton.
He also knows about North Carolina, which means he's getting up for this game.
McEwen had to fire one up to beat the shot clock. Tar Heels again have knocked away McEwen. That's just a...
And sometimes, look, you and I, not to bring him up on a Carolina game, but you and I talked to Coach K about it. It's a similar issue.
Another turnover in
Marquette. Carolina, you missed that shot in the corner, and it leads to a 3 on the other end.
Offensive rebound, and
really what this basketball season has been about, being able to adjust and adapt. And right now, Louisville, after 19 days off, getting their opportunity to go out on the road and play in Chapel Hill. And also, this is the first time North Carolina's had a home game, a home ACC conference game in their last 5 attempts.
Garrison Brooks with his first 2.
Earlier this week.
And because the rest of college basketball knows Roy Williams is looking for non-conference games, they didn't have to go to Twitter for their next game. It was just announced a couple of hours ago that Marquette will travel to Chapel Hill for a game on ESPN2 on Wednesday.
Certainly down the stretch, Louisville can and should cement its NCAA position.
Now, Joe, when you look at this, and Louisville has played a league-low 9 games to this point, is that something that...
Games, potential statement wins ahead of them. I want to shift a little bit to another ACC team, Joe. Clemson has had a couple of pauses, and when they came out of their first big pause, you know, they got walloped their first 3 games and then seemed to figure it out. Now they're back on pause. What do you make of Clemson right now?
Because of something that didn't happen, it's more a question of what did happen when they were playing.
And, Joe, when you look at Syracuse, you look at Duke, Notre Dame, and possibly Pittsburgh, which of those 4 ACC teams has the best chance of being able to move into the field, even if it's an 11 seed?
For 11 of the 18 points for Carolina off the bench as Brooks gets in. Got spins away from pressure. Offensive rebound for Brooks. The putback is good.
A little winded with up and down style of play, so it'll be interesting to see if Northeastern has, lost some wind as Garrison barely misses a dunk. Well,
not if you had played, they wouldn't have, right? Another shot clock violation by the Tar Heels. They take possession. To Brooks.
In the statistical categories as well, the 10 side rims out a 3. That the good teams check, right? They shoot it really well from the free throw line. They don't foul. They don't turn it over. They shoot it well from 3. And so many of the things that you want to be able to lean on in March. Virginia can lean on all of those things. As Garrison Brooks is able to rib one in.
Right there, look at Clark. The little things. You don't see that in the box score, but you see it with the ultimate.
A shot up is so important for North Carolina because how well they generate second shot opportunities.
Garrison Brooks defended by Matthew Hurt. Turnaround will go, and Carolina's in. And we see a trio of subs getting ready to come into the game already for Duke. And there is the 4th Blue Devils turnover. In transition. And a block is the 39% clip a year ago. Has not played as much, and Jay has not shot as well this year.
Well, one of the reasons he's not played as much is he's not hunting that shot. I mean, he needs to shoot more of those. He made 28 of them last year.
That came out.
That's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
Who's your funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate is definitely Henry Coleman, by far.
Your best basketball moment of your career at any level?
Best basketball moment is definitely Carolina shot.
With it, if you've been with us, you know it's a good game already. Brooks off the inbounds, too easy.
Run as much as possible. That makes you easy offense.
Shooting has been an issue. Clyde Trapp takes the first shot of the game and hits the front of the rim. And this is one of the things that Brownell talked about, John, that if you don't make shots, you're always in transition defense. North Carolina starting five is the familiar one of late as Garrison Brooks gets on the board. Then Jonathan Bear, and he stuffs it home. And Clemson is stuffing North Carolina right now.
I know we're not supposed to circle live TV, but with a telestrator, I want to circle Demir Sims because you saw him line it up. He knew the drive was coming. He held his seal, and him holding his seal set that entire play up.
Walton feeds Brooks. Brooks turns around, and Garrett.
And to me, it starts with that high-low, that ISO opportunity for a guy like Day'Ron Sharpe in the post. You've got to change the angles. That's not going to help you at all. Great athletes, they can take off closer to the foul line, yet the restricted arc is 3 feet from the basket. It just doesn't make sense.
There are a lot of charges called. Yeah.
I don't like
in our game. Oh, a lot.
Bad for flow.
You're not alone.
But then there are the purists who are like, the block is a great call. Like, hate it.
Harrison Brooks, a turnaround.
And that will not drop for Tony out of the corner. So the Tar Heels in transition. They get so much scoring out of freshmen. They were ranked 16th in the AP preseason poll. Had a lot of close games. Started in the ACC, chilly 0-for-2, now 5-1.
And Pittsburgh not liking that because they seem to feel as though Leaky Black controlled that basketball into the backcourt. But losing to Wake Forest, giving Wake Forest their first ACC win under Steve Forrest for this season. And, you know, that's one of the areas where Jeff Capel has talked about his team has to grow up, especially if they want to be contenders in this league and participate in the NCAA tournament.
Tied at 11, coming up on 15 minutes to go here in the first half at Pittsburgh.
And out of the timeout, we see the zone defense for Pittsburgh as Garrison Brooks. And
as he got up high, fake out on the spin. Oh, that's slick. And the finish.
It's illegal when they're hitting you with their bodies because they are physical, but they're also tall, which makes them difficult to keep off of the offensive glass.
Carolina with more offensive rebounds than Pitt has defensive rebounds. Beautifully moved in.
That looks like a pretty good starting five there. Kelsey, Dallin, Booz, Luke, Coach McGraw.
Your outstanding point guard.
Absolutely. Of course, Booz is going to take all the shots, though. I mean, just like North Carolina, you got to get the ball inside. You get Luke a couple jumpers, but Booz has to get the ball. Jeff Capel, Jason Capel, Milan Brown. You hear the whole staff of Pittsburgh yelling, "Shooter!" But yet, no one gets there in time to be able to take Walton off the line as he knocks down another three.
It's Brooks again for two, and he's making his.
Yeah, he is 7 for 8 from the field now for Justin Champagnie, 4 for 4 from beyond the three-point arc. And, you know, I got to give him credit because, Obi, if I'm shooting those type of numbers, it's no way I only have 8 field goals. At this point, I'm going to have to start forcing a couple, shooting the basketball that well as we get a
first meeting in Raleigh.
Yeah, Manny Bates blocked 5 shots in that game, but also was effective on the offensive end, 7 for 11 field goals, and put a tremendous amount of pressure on this dominant front line for the North Carolina Tar Heels. We see Garrison Brooks get an easy.
Has on the outside looking in. Who of those do you think is most likely to work its way into the field of 68?
Well, I can tell you, I had Syracuse on Tuesday, and the way they shot the basketball, they looked like a team that could definitely get in the mix. And then the win for them today, a big win over Virginia Tech, definitely helps. They've got Virginia coming in Monday, and so another opportunity to take on a ranked opponent. But, one thing that's hurting the ACC is the fact that
Jalen Johnson heaves the three at the end of the shot clock. Garrison Brooks. Double team comes in, he fights through it and puts, even going back to last season, they've struggled to shoot the ball from outside. The guard play has been inconsistent, and that's two characteristics that you can typically count on in a Carolina basketball team. Brooks from the same spot, just 2 feet in. And again, only 4 of 24 from deep coming into the night, and yet he has hit 6 tonight. Wake Forest down 4. How will they play with Mucius on the bench is the question. He's been good in the post on defense.
Well, yet, but he's going to.
And his three-point shooting numbers have been getting a little bit better bit by bit. This is the 5th consecutive game now in which he's made at least 1 3. Garrison Brooks from the base.
Steve Sachs had a problem going to first.
Sure.
But he's really overcome that. Not Steve Sachs, Raekwon Gray.
Andrew Platek misses the 3, tips it back out to competitive action, or almost all of last season. First competitive action in over a year, December of 2019, I believe, the last time that he played in a game. And that was him feeding Brooks, who gets the bucket.
For sure, backdoor cut. Kerwin Walton had it deflect off his leg. Guerrier scooped it up, couldn't finish, and here's Carolina's first offensive possession. And under the direction of Caleb Love, the freshman from St. Louis. There's Walton's first clean look, but Syracuse reacted quickly, Jordan.
Yeah, you'll notice Garrison Brooks back in that starting lineup. Obviously, he's a big part of what they do. Big coming off the bench, but first this zone.
Black. Here's Brooks, high post on the left. And the offensive rebound for Carolina and the stick back. Into the lineup wearing their jersey number 13. Guerrier from deep. Kessler the rebound.
Empty possession, bad shot selection. It's what cost Syracuse versus Pitt 2 games ago. Too easy to defend, can't have it on the road.
Carolina's hit 1 of their last 7 from the floor. Black for Kessler, nice pass, Brooks.
6'5", I mean, he's a solid 4 or 5 inches shorter. He's got more speed. He should really try to make a guy like Brooks dance on the perimeter to defend.
Foul line for Brooks. And he got the roll. Seconds left, and Boeheim scores again. Ties it up. 20 first-half points for Buddy Boeheim.
Isaiah Wong's my guy.
Okay.
I want to get Wong in there.
I tell you who's the guy right now. Who's that? Oh, I thought that was Jogo. That was not Jogo knocking down the 3. That was Morgan.
Walton. Back out front to Brooks. Shot clock at 5. Brooks fires away. Nothing but net. Give from the short corner for 2. Brooks from the foul line. Comfortable shot.
He was. So when you talk about what they're doing today, he said that they had to defend better.
They lost 79-76 last Tuesday at NC State. The numbers would suggest otherwise in that game, but they came up just short. Remember, they were in a 17-point hole in the first half. Brooks from the free throw line.
That last time Garrison Brooks backing off of him, he's been a guy that's been able to hunt his offense early in his first half.
Usher knocking down that jumper. He's a double-digit scorer, 10.3 points per game for the senior from Canton, Georgia. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the first half. Brooks on the baseline. That's
some success in spreading the ball around, balanced scoring.
Three-pointer from Usher. He had 11 points in that first half. He knocked down a 3 as well, but a misfire early on in the second half, and the turnaround from Brooks.
And they put it around those little guards. They want to get their hands on it.
Keep an eye on that shot clock for the Tar Heels, down to 3. Brooks.
Kentucky, a confident scorer.
Daniels bangs home just his 7th three of the year. He's got 7 of State's 9 here early.
So for his last 10 before that one, huge for the confidence of the scorer.
Brooks alone. Man, different times, especially for this ball game. Off the foul against Daniels, Brooks.
No longer giving the basketball away, having fulfilling, productive possessions, which has them now re-engaged defensively as well.
Tar Heels on 11-3 run as we close the frame here. Roy Williams' team wants the last shot. Inside, they struggle. Brooks collects and scores.
Can he keep that hot streak despite being on a bench in foul trouble?
Helms hasn't scored all night. Misses the 3 for the Wolfpack to open the half. Love with Davis, Black, Baycott, and Brooks. And on cue, the layup for Garrison.
He got it
and that ball got finished.
Got it on time for Bates right there. High level. A lot of athletes playing at the rim. Wow, this is fun to watch, Wes.
2 early fouls. That could move big. Look at this nice kind of pass play, setup, screen. The freshman from Sacramento. It's a 7-0 run for Kentucky.
If you're not shooting the ball, a way of getting your mind into the game, a little dribble drive. Little cross screen, just a great job they do. Saw a little late on the cover.
Brooks and Askew hits the deck. Kentucky keeps it alive for Terrence Clark. Boarded by Sharp.
There's their high-low setup. There it is, right away. One big runs to the goal. Sharp. He's a pleasure to watch. Brings a lot of high-octane effort.
Oh, you always like the Garden State guys, I know. So the backcourt with Mintz, Clark, and Boston all on the floor together for Kentucky.
Well, don't lose play that they really keeps busy. Clark can't go sniffing to help others. That slice cut. Look at this lock on the back screen.
Play check. Carolina looking for its first 3. Still nothing there, but there's Garrison Brooks.
Out, maybe an assistant, and say Luka Garza wins and he's a baller, and put him on your team. That's an interesting thought. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Absolutely there are. There you go, Garrison Brooks. That's what you...
In 3 games, 107 points in 92 minutes right before that shot. I mean, I'd be screaming in a freeze frame too if I were him.
That has to be a record. Good position by Garrison Brooks.
Yeah, he beat him to the rim. Brooks with a skip pass. Bohannon steps into it for 3. Too strong in the rebound for Dayron Sharp.
Brooks runs right down the pipe. No one picks him up. Garrison Brooks.
Your halftime queso burger. Off we go. 43-31. Carolina trying to come back on the road at Iowa.
Have you had one of those yet, by the way, a queso burger?
You know what? I like anything with queso, so yes, I absolutely have.
Good pin.
Oh, Garrison Brooks, the stuff. He's got.
And they rotated Brooks, Sharp, different guys rotating on him, leaning on him, making it hard for the All-American, as you should.
Black used the screen from Brooks, who got it back, and now Garrison Brooks going to work on Wieskamp. 4-2 and a foul. Oh, that was gritty for Iowa on the other end to make it 55-49. Walton the miss. Bohannon makes it a 6-point game. Just when Carolina closes in, Iowa finds the shooting stroke again with Bohannon, the senior. Brooks for 2, 4-point lead. No hesitation. Leaky Black, give off. Oh, Brooks was too open, and he followed.
Enjoy the fact that you can put on 15 pounds. I do that per meal.
I don't believe that's true. You're a pretty slender fella.
Please, you had your eyes checked recently. Beautiful move by Garrison.
And he got it to go.
Shades of it.
A beautiful storyteller. Jones missed the 3 again.
So Texas is missing all these wide open shots, and they're still in this game.
Because of their defense, don't you think?
No, because North Carolina hasn't been scoring themselves.
Maybe because...
Nor should it be.
A.J. Smith has checked in as Brooks gets to the rim, gets a second opportunity and scores.
Too big the last time we were in Maui. So I always try to get some memorabilia, some mementos, the same way I brought home this beautiful sash from the stage at the foot of the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx back in 1978 when we went there on the journey of a lifetime. And now we're just filling in the second set right now.
This is Garrison Brooks for two. I got bad intel. There are two separate Ed Cunninghams. Oh, with Greg Brown you're talking about.
Greg Brown is getting the shaft here. I mean, this is like Zach Collins the other year in the Final Four.
With Gonzaga?
Man-to-man defense and quick relying on gimmicks or double teaming.
Davis the kick, Walton the miss. Offensive rebound, Garrison Brooks.
And there being to the basket, and you'll get that ball back with a give and go. Not everything has to be done off your own dribble for yourself. Where's Johnny Davis when you need him? Great move.
Oh, beautiful by Garrison. Makes it 14-all.
Stanford coming back here with a huge surge. Ron Thompson making his presence felt.
Garrison Brooks to the corner. Nice closeout by Spencer Jones, denying the three from Playtech.
The fact that Stanford's right there, throw it down.
10 cents a shirt to make sure that he could have a little money to play with and go buy a Coke for himself.
His mom let him drink Coke?
Well, there's a famous story from back in the day of Roy Williams going to play basketball with his friends as the ball gets down low. Point game.
Often in handcuffs.
No, I don't think that's true.
Too often.
Leaky Black for North Carolina. Sling by 5 now. Stanford trying to go to the championship game as Garrison Brooks goes with.
To be able to come back after be taken out of the game by some horrific officiating. And the Cardinal in position under 5 minutes. Can they sustain? Post-entry pass.
R.J. Davis is going to have to stay on the floor, and he's a guy that is a walking bucket. If he leads them in scoring, it would not be a surprise.
First basket, and in traffic with the bounce. Nicely done.
Yeah, great individual move by Hamilton, but the problem for UNLV is you're not going to beat North Carolina with one guy trying to score on 5 every time down.
In Indy, we've got a couple of top 11 matchups, including one in the top 5. On the putback off the mark the second time. It's their first game. It's their second game tonight. There's going to be some ups and downs. Hamilton can't get the bounce. Bay got the board.
Well, Roy, a.k.a. Wah, let me tell you your first mistake. Going on a Carolina.
I think that matters because when you play for Sierra Canyon, you mentioned the 8 nationally broadcast games, but it's just everything that comes along with it. And I think he's been quite comfortable making the adjustment, even in 2020 with everything we're dealing with COVID. It's
limit the possessions, and then he said, look, we must limit the paint touches. Right here is where he was concerned. He said
into good citizens, good human beings, not just good basketball players. College of Charleston has woken up in this first half, and they're back within 4.